Welcome back to Lock and Reload with special guest, Go Fast, Shoot Smart. How you doing?
I'm great today. How are you?
Not too shabby. So, topic of today is open carry in Wisconsin and CCW. In other words, Wisconsin's right to carry a concealed weapon. A little bit of a history, if you've been paying attention to my channel at all, I do have a video called It's Coming. The CCW is coming to Wisconsin. Well, it is here. Well, kinda. Basically, Wisconsin has CCW. It does not go into effect until, I believe, November. Ideally, November 1st, I believe. Basically, our new governor, Scott Walker, signed a bill on July 8th of 2011, stating that on November 1st, Wisconsin will have the right to carry a concealed weapon. So I'm here to clear up some misconceptions. I know the bill hasn't been written yet into its full extent, but there are a few things that are out in the media that is very, very much true, and I also want to clear up the misconceptions. And I'm also here to clear up the misconceptions on open carry, as far as if that law is null and void. Basically, CCW, first off, like I stated, it was passed it was passed in June, but it was signed by Governor Scott Walker on July 8th of 2011. So basically, we have the right to conceal carry weapon. It does not go into effect until November 1st. For you to be eligible, you have to take either a concealed carry or a CCW class to get your permit. You have to have papers stating that you were honorably discharged, but you also have to have small arms or handgun training from the military on your discharge papers. As far as I know, I could be wrong, but that's what I was told by a very credible source where I got my CCW. As you know, I haven't adapted this, but I did adaptate this in my last video on Wisconsin open carry. I did go ahead and I have my non-resident Utah concealed carry permit, which is step one for me. In other words, when Wisconsin does implement it, that puts me in the express lane to get my concealed carry permit, because I've already gone through my background checks through the federal and state. So Wisconsin does not reciprocate out of a non-resident Utah concealed carry permit. Every other state does, just not Wisconsin. But it does put me on the fast track to go ahead and get my concealed carry permit here in Wisconsin.
Now, quick question about that. Has that been changed, or have they always not implemented Utah? Because I was under the understanding 3 states did non-resident concealed carry, and Wisconsin only honored Utah and I believe Florida, but did not honor Minnesota.
Well, Wisconsin does honor, or will be honoring, Utah. They will not be honoring the non-resident Utah. But, that being said, seeing that I took my class this year, and I took it in Wisconsin, I qualify. Anyway, other things, the permit, and if you, by the way, if you go through if you are in hunter safety, that does qualify. I do not agree with that. There is a difference between concealed carrying a firearm and going deer hunting. How many of you carry your Remington 7400 that you shoot once a year? How many of you actually conceal that? Or have any form of training besides shooting once a year? None of you, that's right, that's what I said. Anyways, so I believe that is incorrect. I believe everybody should at least go through at least a 4-hour CCW class. And make it optional to go to a live fire. Highly recommended though. If I had the opportunity to advance my CCW, whether it be live fire training or just more handgun training, because as you've seen on my channel, I do a lot of shooting. I'm an avid shooter. Anyway, once you go through all those, once you've met all those criteria, whether it would be your hunter safety program, your your honorable discharge papers, or a 4-hour CCW class, then you can go ahead and apply for your permit. Now that permit is going to be no more than $50. Now, that being said, for some of you open carriers out there, as you know, open carry, you cannot carry a wide open, in the open firearm. Like if this is strapped to your side but it is in plain view, you cannot carry it on school grounds. Or you cannot carry it in a school or on school grounds. Now, the concealed carry permit, you cannot carry it in a school. You can be around school grounds. In other words, if you're like me and you live in a area where you have 4 or 5 schools within a 6-block radius, if they would have went ahead and banned that like they do on open carry, I would have been screwed. Why? Because I have 4 or 5 schools within a 6-block radius. Like, I'm surrounded by schools. So, that being said, you can honestly go ahead and, if you're walking past a school, you can't be on school grounds, which, whatever. You can't be in a school, but if you happen to be near a school, walking past to the store, because we all like to save fuel, we all walk to the store. Anything to add to that?
Quick question about the hunter safety deal of that. Not sure if you know the answer to it, but is it only people that are currently in hunter safety, or would be taking hunter safety after this comes into effect, or people that have taken it within a certain time frame? Would they be eligible for that, or how would that work?
That is a very good question. If you are taking the hunter safety, or you've already taken the hunter safety, once you complete that hunter safety, you already qualify. But you have to be 21 to obtain the permit. So if you are going through hunter safety, and you pass it, which doesn't take a rocket surgeon to pass it, it's common sense. There are a lot of people that don't have common sense, but for those of you who do have common sense and go ahead and pass it, whether you're current, after the fact, as long as you carry that permit, or that hunter safety card, you can go ahead and apply after the age of 21, or 21 years and older. Basically, what it comes down to, if you can legally go out and buy a handgun, there should be no reason why you can't go ahead and being able to apply for a permit and not get it. Because, as you know, this is a 4-page book report just getting a handgun.
Very glad to know that piece of information. That will definitely save people a lot of cash. I have gone through hunter safety, so big perk right there. I'll look into that a little bit more, make sure that's all squared away. Worst case scenario, I have made a call about how much the classes cost in Wisconsin. The place I did call said, I believe it was $100 to take the class, $100, $150, somewhere in that range. Not too expensive in my opinion, definitely worth it.
True. That being said, for those of you that do take a hunter safety course, I highly recommend a CCW class anyway. Because again, there is a difference between carrying around your daddy's shotgun out deer hunting and concealed carrying a handgun that's on your person, almost between 95 and 100% of the time. So regardless, whether you take the 4-hour class, and then after that, I personally would go through some form of live fire training at least once a year. If you can't afford that, get out and shoot this more than once a year. I shoot if you've seen my channel in any way, I have well over 2,000 rounds through this, and that's just this summer alone. So obviously I do a lot of shooting because you need to know your firearm better than you can put your underwear on. Because this can be a lifesaver and this can be a killer. Not to bring anything up, mishaps can happen. There is actually a guy on YouTube that actually shot himself while he was training for close quarter or carrying a pistol. Yeah, literally went through his leg. So I don't want that to happen to any of you. Now, again, it's going to be no more than $50 for the permit once you qualify for all the other stuff.
Highly recommend taking a training class.
Indeed, that is a very valid point. So basically, yeah, Do what he says. With the concealed carry law, you cannot be in any federal building or state building. Although that being said, you can conceal carry a weapon in the state capitol in Wisconsin, and which is kind of interesting. You cannot carry in a federal or any other state building, but you can carry in Wisconsin's state capitol. So take it for what it's worth. It is what it is. That being said, that brings me up to my last point on CCW, because hopefully this helps you out. There are going to be a lot of city and state ordinances lots of city and local ordinances, whether they be county, city, town. And if any of you are from Wisconsin, you know that there are a lot of little gathering of people towns. Basically, what I mean by tribe towns are when you have a church, 2 bars, all across the street from each other, and the city is no more than 500 people.
Or when you and a friend can stand on one on each side of the city and play soccer with each other. You live in a small town.
Trust me, I used to live on the outskirts of the town like that. So you're going to have a lot of city and state ordinances. For instance, you have De Pere. Give you a little bit of background. De Pere has a law when you open carry, you can go into City Hall and any city buildings. Now, they just passed a law stating, or an ordinance stating, if you are concealed carrying, you cannot carry in the City Hall, and you cannot carry in any city building, like the fire station, police station, or the City Hall, which I find stupid, because what's the difference between carrying this in plain view or concealed carrying it? This segment video is kind of long, but I'm trying to get my point across to the best of my ability. If you have any questions or concerns about concealed carry, I will answer them to the best of my ability. Leave me a comment, send me a PM. I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. I apologize. Open carry. I'm going to clear up some things. Open carry has not been abolished by any means. It's not banned. The law has not changed by any means. All the same laws still apply. You can't open carry still to this day, because one, I haven't heard anything about anybody stating, well, we're going to stop open carry. That's still a law. You can still go ahead and open carry. You still can't carry in a state or federal building. You cannot carry in a tavern or a bar unless you have the owner's consent. You can't carry in a state park, but you can carry in a federal forest. Don't ask, don't know. What is the other place you cannot? Oh, you cannot carry in any place that prohibits firearms. So those are the places you cannot carry. You can open carry pretty much everywhere but those places that I just stated. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about open carry, let me know, or revert to opencarry.org. But again, the open carry law is alive and kicking. So for those of you that cannot afford any of the concealed carry, you do have the open carry option. Highly not recommended though, because if you are open carrying a handgun or any form of firearm, and you are in a high-stress robbery situation, and you happen to be in that store when that gas station is getting robbed, guess who's getting targeted first? The guy who is open carrying a firearm. Why? Because this is in plain sight. Hence why I am a big advocate of concealed carry. So do you have anything more to add?
Just the usual. If you're gonna open carry or concealed carry when you're able to, just be smart about it. If you feel it's necessary to walk around a store with your hand on your firearm, I find that ridiculous, and that should not be allowed. As far as concealed carrying goes, again, I just highly recommend that you do take a training class. No matter how proficient you feel you are with your firearm, I feel you should take a training class of some sort. They're not that costly. There are different types of training classes. There's, personal defense, home defense, CCW, just something that would simulate more high stress. Get out and shoot it. Don't just carry it because you have it. You know, also I'm always open to questions. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to leave a comment if it's something that's appropriate for my channel. But if you're just gonna say my channel sucks, then don't leave a comment. Inbox me, and we'll go from there. Chances are you won't get a response, but if you do have a legitimate question, feel free to ask.
Also, go check out Go Fast Shoot Smart's channel. Conceptions on open carry, or just to let you know what you can do when open carrying, and update on CCW. Lock and reload. Catch you later.